Hi, I'm Kelly at Book and Paper Arts, and I've missed posting a couple of Fridays because I am here in France, in Chinon. Chinon is a beautiful little village in the Loire Valley, and it's full of history and charm and stories. And so far, I've been to a lot of churches, a lot of flea markets, and I have pretty much eaten my own body weight in pastry. At least that's what it feels like. I've also started a new illustrated journal, a new travel sketchbook. So I thought I'd kick things off by talking about what's in my travel art kit. I do these videos from time to time because as I learn new techniques and about new art supplies, things change and evolve in the portable art studio. So please stick around, see what's the same, what's different, and why. If you like journal arts, altered books, vintage paper, books, and ephemera, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and be sure and turn on the notifications and you will have more of them in your life. Now, let's go look at art supplies. First, I want to say that I am not paid for any endorsements of any brands of the stuff that I'm using. I'm just talking about the stuff I like. I will put the names of some of these brands in the text below the video in case you're curious and you'd like to look them up. Such as this bag. This bag is by Lihit or Lihit, and I really love their bags. They're made of nylon and they're super light. They have tons of pockets. And it even opens flat so that you can really get to your stuff easily. And that's important when you're on the go. This one's had a few mishaps, and I don't mind that. I think it tells a story, and I just don't really trust a pristine art bag. Do you? This is my new sketchbook. It is by Hanne Müller. It's a German company, and they've been making paper for over 400 years. I really like their sketchbooks. I like this landscape format, but it also comes in a portrait format. And I've painted the cover, just made it pretty and happy. And the paper in a Hanne Müller sketchbook comes in different sizes, different weights. But today I actually am using one with watercolor paper. It's a little bit heavier and it's going to stand up to some liquid media. So I really like these sketchbooks. Inside I have a travel watercolor set. This one is made by A. Gallo, but you can get lots of very good travel watercolor sets in any craft store. I do like how this one has its own mixing trays, which lets me play around with the colors. To that end, I actually have bought a separate mixing tray. And this thing has really upped my watercoloring on the road game. I found it by going on Etsy and putting in handmade mixing palettes and then scrolling till I found one that was in my price range and that I liked. It is surprisingly not heavy at all. So I really like this thing. To activate my colors when I'm sitting in, let's say, a cafe or a church or anywhere that I'm going to be sketching, I need to activate my colors. So I do that with this mister. It's just water in a travel bottle that I got at the pharmacy. And then you just go, and hey presto, you can start working with your colors. For this trip, I treated myself to some portable watercolor brushes. These are made by Raphael, and they came like this, 6 brushes in the kit. including this mop brush and this number 2 round brush, and then this 2 flat brushes and then 2 fine brushes. And you see they're quite short, which means they're light and easy to travel with. They even came in this adorable little roll made of bamboo, but I'm finding that it's taking up it's kind of bulky, so I don't actually think I'm going to use it too much. I'm going to take these out and put them in the pockets of the orange bag and try to be really careful. Alternatively, I also have water brushes. These are really good if you can't get to a place to put your water when you're working, because water brushes have water in their reservoir there. They just carry it with them. So you can just open that up and then squeeze some water from the brush into your paint, and then you are ready to go. And these come in different widths. I have one that's medium small and one that's kind of big for doing a wash. I love these things. Water brushes are also handy if you are using water-soluble pencils. A water-soluble pencil goes on dry like this. But then you can activate it with water like this. And it's going to turn into something like a paint or even an ink. The ones I'm using are by Derwent, but lots of different people make them. And I used to travel with a ton of these, but they got heavy fast and I didn't use them as much as I thought I would. So now I tend to just go with a couple, 2 or 3 primary colors, and then I can use these for adding a little bit of pop and detail to my paintings, or mark making, which is a really good way to fill up spaces around the edge of your pages. I also carry just plain old pencils for sketching and a couple of different hardnesses. This is actually just a plain old school pencil. And this is a Palomino Black Wing. And for that, I make sure that I have an eraser and a pencil sharpener in the orange bag. I take several different pens with me. This is a very fine line. It's an 01. And I use this fine line for drawing or for outlining. Sometimes I prefer to draw in pencil, and then I just go around and outline with the fine. This is actually just a grocery store rollerball pen, and it's a 0.7, which gives me a wider line, which I like to use for lettering, adding words and labels, and that thicker line is good for that. The other difference in the pens is that I like a variety of water resistant and water soluble. Now this original pen that I was looking at a minute ago is it's going to stay where it is. It's fast. And the best way to find out if it is fast or water soluble and will react with water is to actually look on the pen. And this one says fade proof lines, waterproof lines. So if I try to activate this, it's not going to move, which is good for one effect because that means that I can go in and then add my color separately with a nice clean line that's not going to react with the watercolor. This one, however, doesn't say anything like that. It just says liquid ink. So if I go in here now and draw another messy coffee cup, this time it is going to react to the water. And I love this effect, especially when I'm drawing on the road, because it's very forgiving. It's fun and it's forgiving, especially if I'm drawing buildings, which I'm not really good at. So this lets me make a wash. It's atmospheric, forgiving, fun, and I love it. Finally, I always take a glue stick and a pair of scissors. Personally, I like Yoo-hoo. I actually buy these in bulk because I use them a lot. These are cutter bee scissors. I like them because they're light and have a nice point. And if I have my glue stick and my scissors, then I am always ready to start building a page using a brochure, otherwise known as a free art supply, or something else like it, maybe a postcard or labels or menus. But if you can start cutting it up, you can start making a page. I would not have been able to draw this Abbey, not anywhere near this well anyway, but they gave me a free brochure. And inside, someone else has already drawn the Abbey. So something similar to this, I just cut it out carefully and then glued it down. And now I have the beginning of a really strong page. I just need to draw into this and around it, or add words and start telling the story of the day. There we go. I went through this pretty quickly because it is a beautiful day and I want to get out in it. Those cafes are not going to sit in themselves. If you have any questions about what I've covered, just let me know in the comments below. You can also, again, check out the text that is below this video that will have the names of some of the things that I've been using, just for suggestions. You will also find in the text below this video a link to my online class about how to make your own illustrated journal. Please stay tuned. I'm going to be doing some more videos from France of some churches and flea markets and who knows what. So until then, happy making.